There is a case, a story. This story is called Mrs. Bai. This was about 25 or 26 years ago. When I met her, it was because of her son's health issues. She used this wheelchair to push her son in his 20s to see me. Of course, I helped her, but her son did not recover to walk like a normal person. He could walk shakily. It was also the first time this son in his 20s walked since he was born. The first time he used his own feet, but he had a disease called rickets. His limbs were all curled up, bent, and he was extremely thin, like a skeleton. Yes, when he sat in the wheelchair, there were pillows stuffed in front and back. Otherwise, he would wobble. To help her child, I chatted with her to understand her situation. I asked, "Where is the child's father?" Mrs. Bai smiled and said, He died at 32, falling at a construction site." I asked about her son's condition. "Has he ever walked since he was born?" "Never walked before. Today, you helped him walk for the first time. All these years, with your husband gone, has anyone else helped you take care of him?" "No, we don't have any relatives. Relatives don't visit us much. We're poor, and my husband died young. His family doesn't really care about us. Our life is very difficult, with no income. I only take care of my son, so I can't go out to earn money." "So, how do they live?" "They rely on the vegetable stalls and restaurants, begging in those places. They have to push the child around in those small vegetable selling stalls. People feel sorry for them and give some vegetables, give some food. That's their life." I asked if taking care of the child is tiring. She smiled and said, "No, it's not tiring, just like that." "Why?" "Because she's used to it. It's been over 20 years. And you have no income like this. Don't you find this life hard?" "No, it's actually quite fun, not hard at all." I didn't dare to ask again. She was laughing, and it made me cry. I couldn't listen anymore. When most people talk about their pain and sorrow, they would cry loudly. More reserved people would wipe their tears. But she kept laughing. In fact, her spirit had collapsed. She was in extreme pain. She thought, "What's the use of crying? No one can help me. I have to take care of my son's every need, from eating to toileting. I've cried countless times. Does it solve anything?" Finally, she suddenly realized, just laugh. She laughed with everyone she met. Those who wanted to help her didn't understand. Seeing her always smiling, one might think she leads a happy life. But in reality, she suffers immensely. A fellow practitioner asked me, "Why does Mrs. Bai have such a hard life? Buddhas always talk about karma and causality. Why does she suffer so much?" After 2 days, when I felt more relaxed, I entered a meditative state to see her. It was like watching a movie. Some movie-like stories emerged. In her previous life, Mrs. Bai was a man. His family had some money, considered middle class. His father might have been a minor government official, a small clerk with a stable income. But this child got addicted to drugs. In the past, drugs, gambling, and prostitution were often linked. Anyone who did drugs was likely involved in the other two as well. The three vices combined, and after getting addicted to drugs, he got addicted to gambling. In the end, he drained all the family's money. He forced his parents to sell the house. After spending all the money from the house sale, they still had some farmland, about 10 acres. He forced his parents to sell it, and the property was sold. The child used this money. It didn't last a year before it was all spent again. After selling the property, the couple felt too ashamed to face their neighbors. They wandered to another place to beg for a living. Eventually, they froze to death in another province. Before they froze to death, the parents died together. In the next life, we all have to settle our debts. In this life, Mrs. Bai's husband, Mr. Bai, died in his 30s. He was the father who died of anger in a past life. The son in the wheelchair was the mother who died of anger in a past life. In this life, they became two people who caused her unbearable pain. Our fellow practitioner asked me at that time, "Master, do you think in this life their sorrow and debts have been settled and balanced?" I continued to look, and it was strange. It keeps spinning like a roulette wheel for a very long time, over 100,000 times. Then it comes back to continue seeking repayment from this unfilial child, to make him suffer. It becomes a repeated cycle, similar to the tragic experiences of Mrs. Bai. I thought enduring such suffering once would be enough, but it turns out there are over 100,000 times more. In fact, the results of our good deeds and sins are more than a ratio of 1 to 10,000. Mrs. Bai's continuous reincarnation means continuous suffering. Of course, in the next life, she might not be called Mrs. Bai. She could be Mr. Li. The name changes, but the suffering remains the same. Such punishment and suffering are numerous. A fellow practitioner, whom I met a few days ago, told me she had a very serious illness. She is young, a lady. When I looked at her, I felt that she was not simple, because there were several dark shadows behind her. They resembled ancestral temples. I said, "Your illness is not simple. It seems related to your ancestors." It also has a feeling of an ancestral temple. An ancestral temple has no specific features, but an image like a temple appears. It is written there as an ancestral temple. I asked the spirits, "What kind of temple is this? Why is it written as an ancestral temple?" The spirits told me it's an issue with your ancestors. So I said, "Your problem is not simple. It's not just a mere illness. It might be related to your ancestors." She said, "Ah," just an "ah" sound. My grandfather's brother, my fifth granduncle, his descendants, several of them have already died. And when my grandmother passed away, she died on her own birthday. Her grandmother died on her own birthday. But after that, several of her relatives also died on her grandmother's birthday. They didn't die in the same year. Terrifying, right? Who will die next? The more I think about it, the more scared I get. I feel so pitiful. But when I trace back the events, I think there might be a reason behind it. How did such a phenomenon come to be? His grandfather's parents might have been angered to death by his grandparents, especially by his grandmother. They say his grandmother died on her own birthday. You are celebrating your birthday, I'll take your life, including punishing his grandfather's brothers. All of his brothers had problems. What is this called? This is called ancestral debt collection. The sins of harming one's parents. Parents blame you. They die with resentment. Resenting you, their descendant. Resenting you, their son or daughter-in-law. Oh, the most troublesome part is, if you die of illness, it's one thing. But your descendants face problems generation after generation. I don't know how many generations it will take to settle the debt. Terrifying. Everyone who hears it is horrified. Their hair stands on end from fear. This is too terrifying. This is reality. So, if there is no debt from a past life, there is no encounter in this life. In this life, all your relatives and classmates and neighbors you get along with have a relationship of mutual debt. Where there is interaction, there is debt. Why do couples always argue? It's because of debt. Becoming a couple means you can argue every day. Some people realize early on and think, let's split up quickly. They get divorced and save their lives. Some argue until one of them suddenly dies. This is called death separation. Divorce is living separation. There are reasons behind all this. Debt, right? When such fates come together, there is mutual debt. Entangled together, inseparable. Cannot be separated, cannot be broken. Those with a connection are either debt collectors or benefactors. So, between people, meeting and gathering is a kind of fate. But what kind of fate is it exactly? It's because of mutual debts. If you stole a piece of his bread in a past life, in this life, you might lose everything, because the repayment is more than 10,000 times. It amplifies this energy. It's like a big trumpet. When I blow the trumpet, the mouth is small, but the sound it produces is huge, it's infinite. But doing good deeds also amplifies in the same way. Some people say that offering incense to Buddha can bring abundant harvests. This is another example of good cause and effect. If you sincerely offer incense before Buddha, it can bring prosperity to your family. It magnifies the merit. Will I get good results just by offering incense? From a scientific perspective, have you heard of the butterfly effect? For example, in the Philippines, a butterfly flaps its wings, and a typhoon hits Canada, blowing cars into the sea. This is possible. It's not just a romantic idea. It's real. A small energy can lead to significant effects. It undergoes a transformation and development, and it can become enormous. The starting point is small, but its impact later is immense. How can one truly, from the bottom of their heart, forgive those who have wronged them, and not just let it remain a thought in their mind? The greatest issue in the world is death. The greatest fortune is being human. As long as you are alive, all worries are not real problems. They cannot become obstacles in life. If the person you want to forgive was once your family member or a very good friend, otherwise you wouldn't feel such inner pain or have thoughts of forgiveness. Face resentment and hatred with kindness. The result will be beautiful. Face beauty with hatred, and it equals harm and disaster. Face hatred with revenge, and it equals death. It sounds harsh, but if you remember it, it might save your life. As long as you live today, as long as you can open your eyes and live tomorrow morning, you should think this world is the only one, it is yours. There are no enemies, no grudges to resolve. This way, you can achieve great freedom. If you keep thinking whether to forgive, it means hatred will always be buried in your heart. Where is the freedom in that? Your hatred will become an obstacle in your body. It can even eventually turn into a tumor. Do you know that it's poison? It's called revenge, and the sins accumulate more and more. In the end, it drags you deeper and deeper. But those who hate usually don't think this way, unless they listen to our teachings. Only then might they understand what forgiveness is. Now, let's think about it in terms of time. Can anyone remember where they were 100 years ago? And who can imagine where they will be 100 years from now? 100 years ago, we didn't exist. And 100 years from now, we won't exist either. What hatred is there? So, to live happily every day. Each day should rise like the sun, with a warmth of kindness, to view all people and things in the world. Forgive the entire world like the sun. We will then attain happiness and peace. Hello, everyone. Let's continue studying the Earth Store Bodhisattvas Vow Sutra /I. A bodhisattva named Universally Expansive, Samantavidyula, joined his palms in respect and said to the Buddha, I see Buddha highly praise Earth Store Bodhisattva for his numerous inconceivable, awesome supernormal power and virtue. World-honored one, for the sake of future sentient beings, please speak about how Earth Store Bodhisattva benefits all beings, such that the heavenly beings and sentient beings of the future may receive, believe, and act on Buddha's directive. At that time, the Buddha told Universally Expansive Bodhisattva, and everyone in the assembly, let me tell you now. Universally Expansive Bodhisattva said, yes, we joyfully wish to listen. Sakyamuni Buddha said, in the future, there may be people who hear Earth Store Bodhisattva's name. If these people immediately become respectful, or if they praise and pay reverence to Earth Store Bodhisattva, their merit will free them from 30 eons of punishments. Universally expansive, there may be people who respectfully paint or sculpt Earth Store Bodhisattva's image and pay reverence. By this merit, they will be reborn 100 times in the Trayastrinsa heaven. Because the Buddha said that sentient beings will reincarnate in the cycle of life and death. After death, they might be reborn in a different realm. For example, a being was a human, but after receiving guidance, he might be reborn as a deity in the Trayastrinsa heavens. It's a cycle of life and death. If you pay respect, worship, paint or sculpt Earth Store Bodhisattva's image, you'd be reborn in the Trayastrinsa heaven for hundreds of lifetimes. Trayastrinsa heaven is where Buddha's mother lives. 1,000 years there is about 36 million years in the human realm. If one day, when your merits are all used up, you might want to be reborn in the human realm, then you'd be reborn as a king and enjoy tremendous blessing. Please remember, how is this possible? It's the merit gained by painting or sculpting Earth Store Bodhisattva's image. Painting or sculpting the Bodhisattva's image can create tremendous merits and virtues. It's even more impressive if you sculpt a Buddha statue. There may be women who despise being women. If so, they can sincerely make offerings before Earth Store Bodhisattva's image or statue. It could be one in your home, a monastery, or a place of self-cultivation. If you can regularly make offerings of incense, flowers, food, clothing, money, or jewels. This woman, the Buddha said clearly, after this lifetime and in many future lifetimes, will not be reborn in worlds where there are women. Because you despise being a woman, you won't become a woman. The world you'd reborn in has no woman, so you won't become one. Unless the person vows to benefit sentient beings as a woman. For example, I want to benefit sentient beings in the form of a woman. I'm more beautiful. It's easier to help women in this form. You'd become a woman. Otherwise, you'd always be reborn as a man. Next, the Buddha said, universally expansive, there may be women who despise her unsightly appearance, or who is frequently ill. She may sincerely pay reverence and make offerings to Earth Store Bodhisattva for even just a short while. What kind of merits and virtues can she gain in such short time? Throughout thousands of eons, such woman will be reborn with perfect looks and features. If this woman still wants to be a woman in the future, She will always be reborn as a princess, princess consort, daughter of top officials or daughter of an influential family. She'll be born with a dignified and beautiful appearance. That's great. Want to be pretty? Make offerings to Earth Store Bodhisattva and praise him. It is extremely effective. The Buddha said, universally expansive. In front of Earth Store Bodhisattva's image, there may be people who play elegant music and sing beautiful songs to praise Earth Store Bodhisattva's merits and virtues. They might also offer incense and flowers to Earth Store Bodhisattva. They not only do so themselves, but also encourage and lead others to do likewise. Such people, both now and in the future, remember this notion of time, both now and in the future. They'd be protected by thousands of ghosts and deities. Say, deities protect you in daytime and ghosts protect you in nighttime. There will not be misfortune. You'd have ghosts and deities' protection and blessing. It's incredible. Universally expansive. In the future, there may be evil people, evil deities, or evil ghosts, who see kind people taking refuge in Earth Store Bodhisattva, making offerings, singing his praises, or paying reverence to his image. Then, those evil beings may express mock, ridicule, or slander. They may laugh at these people in their faces, or mock and slander them behind their backs. They may urge others to ridicule or have slandering thoughts. Such evil beings will fall into and remain in the Avicii hell forever. They'd undergo extremely severe torments without a day of release. For such severe wrongdoings, they would suffer eons of karmic effects in hell. Then, their suffering continues in the realm of hungry ghosts for another 1,000 eons. How long is 1,000 eons? Much longer than our sun's life. After countless years, they'd be reborn in the animal realm, after suffering for another 1,000 eons in the animal realm. They will be reborn in the human realm as terrible people. They might have physical disabilities, like lacking a limb. One lifetime after another, they'd be beaten, scolded, tortured, and have many illnesses and misfortunes. Before long, they will fall into the evil realms again. They'd return to the hell of incessant suffering and continue to suffer. It's like a never-ending cycle. Therefore, universally expansive, ridiculing and slandering people who make offering and pay reverence to Earth Store Bodhisattva will result in great karmic effects. How much worse will the consequences be if a person sneers, defames, and slanders Earth Store Bodhisattva? How great is this offense? Listen carefully. We just learned that people experience incessant suffering for almost eternity. What did these people do? These people mocked, made fun of, or looked down on people who pay respect and praise Earth Store Bodhisattva. They committed a great offense. The offense is more severe if people ridicule or slander Earth Store Bodhisattva. It's terrifying. I can't imagine what the punishments would be. It's written in the sutra. I firmly believe it. Next, the Buddha said, universally expansive. In the future, there may be men and women who are ill and bedridden for a long time. They are unable to get well or die despite their wishes. At night, they may have nightmares of evil ghosts, and even dream of their deceased relatives. Frequently in their dreams, they might travel to dangerous places along with evil ghosts or their deceased relatives. They might be paralyzed as if an unseen weight is upon them, or be dragged away by ghosts and deities, etc. If it happens for a long time, they'll be tormented and become skin and bones. In the past, I helped 2 people like this. It's hard to help them. Any method is hardly effective. They're unwell. They cry out in bed and live in misery. All these are because such people have committed various wrongdoings in their current or past lives. So when they are on the verge of death, a karmic judgment must be made about where they'd be reborn. Have you seen the movie called Along with the Gods? After people pass away, they must be tried in court and judged, whether they'd go to hell or heaven. There's a trial. As a person wait for the court decision, they might be bedridden. As they wait for the court decision, their health cannot improve. And they do not die. Their ordinary relatives, young or old, cannot understand what is happening. They don't understand the principle. I've seen people who suffered as such. It's like their soul have almost left their body. They should have passed away. But they couldn't. From a medical perspective, they have heartbeat and brain activity. They are considered as alive, but they cannot recover. They can't get well. There are people in such situations. Hence, in such situation, the family members should read this sutra aloud once. The Buddha said, read the Earth Store Sutra aloud, before the images of Buddhas or Bodhisattvas sincerely. Read it out loud. They may also make an offering of the sick person's beloved possessions, like jewelry. Nowadays, it could be the person's beloved cell phone or keepsake. It could be clothing, manners, or houses. They should loudly declare in front of the sick person, because they might not be able to hear clearly in that state. I, so-and-so, will reverently read the sutras to you in order to rescue you. Speak loudly. In the presence of the sutras and images of Buddhas or Bodhisattvas, I, so-and-so, give these items on behalf of this sick person to make offerings to images of Buddha and Bodhisattvas, to construct stupas and monasteries, to make light offerings, or to donate to the Sangha. Say the declaration 3 times such that the sick person can clearly hear it. The sick person might be severely ill, unconscious, or has breathed their last breath. It's best to read the sutra loudly for 1 to 7 consecutive days. After this person's life ends, he will be relieved of his past wrongdoings, even the heinous crimes that lead to punishments in the hell of 5-fold incessant suffering. He will forever be relieved. Wherever he is reborn, he will know his previous lives, the cause and effect. The Buddha said, if people frequently copy this sutra in writing, or ask others to do so on their behalf, sculpt or paint this Bodhisattva's image personally, or ask others to do on their behalf, they will gain kind karma. That will bring them immense benefits. Therefore, universally expansive, if you see people who read and recite this sutra, who have even one thought of praise for it, you should use skillful means to encourage these people to keep their diligent mind and must not regress. Thereby, they will attain inconceivable merits and virtues in both the present and future. Furthermore, universally expansive. In the future, sentient beings might dream of ghosts, deities, and other forms of beings. They might have dreams about ghosts, deities, or other strange-looking beings. Some are sad. Some are crying. Some are worried. Some are mourning. Some are fearful or terrified. These ghosts or forms are that person's relatives from their past life. It might be their fathers, mothers, brothers, sisters, spouses, uncles, nephews, nieces, other relatives or loved ones. These beings are in the evil realms and unable to leave. They have no way out. So they came to your dream asking for your help. Universally expansive. Encourage such people to do various good deeds, to free their deceased relatives from the evil realms. Universally expansive. Use your power to help them, such that the living people can personally read this sutra aloud sincerely, before an image of Buddha or Bodhisattva. Who should read the sutra? People who have such dreams. An illiterate can ask others to read on their behalf. After reading the sutra for 3 to 7 times, the relatives in the evil realm should be liberated. What a powerful sutra! Just by reading it aloud, you'll be able to liberate your relatives from sufferings in hell. It brings immense merits and virtues. After reading the sutra, the relatives in hell will be liberated and you won't have such dreams anymore. They are freed. Maybe they'll be reborn as divine beings or to a respected and wealthy family. Universally expansive. In the future, there may be people of the lower classes, slaves, maids, or other people deprived of freedom, restrained or restricted. These people may realize that they are undergoing the consequence of their past karma and wish to repent. They should pay reverence to an image of Earth Store Bodhisattva for 1 to 7 days, chanting Earth Store Bodhisattva's name. Instead of reading the sutra, they can chant his name a full 10,000 times. When such people's karmic debt is paid in this lifetime, for millions of future lifetimes, they will always become respected and wealthy people, and will not suffer in the 3 evil realms again. It's excellent. If you don't read the sutra, you may chant Earth Store Bodhisattva's name. Chanting Earth Store Bodhisattva's mantra brings even greater results. The Buddha said further, universally expansive. Newborn infants will be born into every class. The infant might be a boy or girl. In the first 7 days of their birth, the family should read this sutra and chant Earth Store Bodhisattva's name 10,000 times. On behalf of the newborn, please remember, with these merits and virtues, the newborn will be liberated from the karmic debts of their past lives. Naturally, their present life will be smooth, happy, healthy, long-lived, wealthy, and auspicious. They'll have everything. They'll grow up safely. They are easy to raise. Their lifespans will increase. If the infant was born a blessed person, these merits and virtues will help them to be healthier and increase their longevity. It's better than ever. Universally expansive. There are 10 observance days each month. On the Chinese lunar calendar, the days are the 1st, 8th, 14th, 15th, 18th, 23rd, 24th, 28th, 29th, and the 30th. In months with 29 days, the last 3 days are the 27th, 28th and 29th. On the 10 observance days, the offenses of sentient beings will be assessed. For sentient beings, every action and every thought generates karmic debts inevitably. How much more so when they intentionally kill, steal, and have offenses of sexual misconduct, false speech, and other wrongdoings. Almost all sentient beings' actions and thoughts stem from their intentions to benefit themselves or fulfill their selfish desires. For example, beauty, money, power, fame, etc. While fulfilling these desires, we sometimes end up hurting others and creating sin.
This chapter introduces various hells and the punishments within them. It sends chills down one's spine. Beings commit various sins due to ignorance and fall into hell to endure punishment. In the human world, we also encounter various setbacks and even disasters. Grandmaster, may I ask, are all unfortunate events in life the results of the sins we committed in the past?
In this world of ours, thanks to our sins from the mistakes we made, we're bound by karmic retributions that made our lives miserable. Many people have been working for a long time, but still remain ignorant and learn nothing. Some make mistakes, invest wrongly, get the wrong job, marry the wrong partner, etc. In short, they mess up everything they do. Our lack of merits result in our rotten luck. Someone wrote to me telling his problem and asked me for my blessings. In his 3 previous jobs, he'd been terminated while he's still in his probation period. Talk about bad luck. He needs to do more good deeds to gain some merits. And then there's another one. A parent's son is ranked 10,000 out of 600,000 candidates in his entrance exam. It's a provincial level entrance exam. There were 600,000 candidates, and his son was ranked 10,000.
That's quite good.
Quite good, right? I then asked for the child's photo, and the parent sent me his family photo. Physiognomically speaking, the child was quite handicapped. The child wasn't blessed with much wisdom. Yet, for such achievement, I'd say he's quite blessed. If he wasn't, he would have come last. We're karmically connected with our ancestors. Someone told me that he felt something was pinning him down. In his bed, it happened about 2 to 3 times in a month. He couldn't scream, but he could see some beings moving around. It felt real although he's sleeping. He often woke up exhausted. He couldn't even open his eyes. When he told me about it, I knew it straight away. His soul was snatched from his body in his sleep. Who did that? His ancestor. His ancestor was not happy, and that's how the deceased made his feelings known to his descendant. This person was an unfilial son 150 years ago. His mother from the past did not like him, marrying his partner 150 years ago and hung herself. It happened in the past. He's safe in this lifetime. He's my disciple. In this lifetime, he hadn't done anything to liberate his mother from the past. The lady died with so much hatred when she hung herself. My disciple was supposed to chant for her, made light offerings, do good deeds, etc. He could at least make a small donation to our center. That's how the lady's hatred could be liberated. She was in hell and she needed to be freed, with merits from good deeds. That's what he should be doing, to save his mother from the past. That's why we always state that we liberate our ancestors from 7 lifetimes in the past. This is important. Ladies, if you've had an abortion before and is suffering from various pain and ailments, they came from your aborted child. Your aborted child isn't liberated and refused to leave you alone. That's why you're feeling sick. You could even dream of your child demanding an answer from you. Your child died with so much hatred. When a fetus is about 6 months old, it's developed enough to hold grudges. What do? You do good deeds and dedicate the merits to liberate them. Do your good deeds, and Buddha will do the liberation. For the past few days, I've helped a few ladies with cold palms. It's not the icy palm kung fu, okay? This is caused by having too many abortions and the lack of physical care after their abortions. Some don't sweat at all even after doing hard labor work. Some got better after practicing energy bhagwa, some don't. In this case, the latter need to do more good deeds. Sometimes having cold palms has nothing to do with your lack of vital energy. Your soul could be the problem. Again, do more good deeds and get rid of some evil energy. Or you could be possessed by souls of those who held grudges against you, or souls looking for a host. If you've been chosen as the host, consider yourself unlucky. In this case, you need some vessels to ward off evil. I'm sure you've seen them before in movies. Each religion has their own vessels. For example, crosses, beads, stakes, singing bowls, etc. And Buddha statues, too. Items that are blessed work, too. In Buddhism, great masters have to go through decades of practice. Whatever they touch are blessed and imbued with divine energy. You need such blessed items to keep you safe, especially if you often come into contact with evil spirits. Mortals like us are too weak to solve problems like this. We often let good chances slip by thanks to our karmic debts. Those who are blessed may look confused in their daily lives, but their minds are clear when making big decisions. For example, when choosing partners, investing, buying properties, etc. Things often end up well when they do these things. That's how blessed they are. Those who are blessed can often get things done easily, without breaking a sweat. When you need to make big decisions like buying a house, there are many things you need to consider, right? When it comes to selecting the house with the best feng shui, you'd end up choosing the right house. You won't even need a feng shui consultant. What's the reason behind your decision? Purely intuition. When your feng shui consultant and property agent think it's a bad decision, it turns out that you're buying the house with the best feng shui. You'd do well even if you ended up in a job nobody wants. What made you choose it? Your intuition tells you. It's your merits that are helping you. That's how it is. This has nothing to do with how smart you are. How do we judge a smart person? We look at their academic grades, right? Some people score well in exams thanks to their good memory. They have no problem remembering things. For some, they have good analytical skills. One look at a math problem and they can sort out the equation in their mind straight away. Luck is a totally different thing. You can be poor in analyzing things but still make right decisions. I never write my scripts for my teachings. I'm quite impressed at myself for my spontaneous speeches. I've no idea who or what helped me in my speeches. It's not because I have the smartest brain. I just got help from heaven, that's all. It's true. It's a symbol of great blessings. Once, a female practitioner told me how she, a city girl, fell for a guy from the countryside. The lady's dad used to be a high-ranked officer. She was madly in love with the guy who came from the countryside. She's quite good-looking and have decent qualification. She was introduced to 3 guys who could match her in terms of status and qualification. In the end, he chose the guy from the countryside. Now, the guy is the wealthiest man in the province they live in. She always joked that it was her merits that transformed his husband into what he is today. Look how blessed I am. She is indeed a smart girl, but she wasn't thinking with much logic back then. She just thought the guy was a husband material. The other 3 guys' qualification didn't change her mind. What a blessings! You're lucky if you're chosen by any of our female practitioners. However, blessings don't come free, you cultivate them. How? Just listen to my teachings, learn and practice what I say. Cultivation begins at the moment compassion begins to arise. So, what's next? We will all continue with the most sincere and respectful hearts to chant the Kshitigarbha Bodhisattva heart mantra. The more respectful and sincere we are, the more our ancestors, our deceased loved ones, ourselves in this life, and all our living relatives will gain boundless benefits and acquire infinite merits and virtues. This will allow us to live happier, more freely, and healthier lives. All right, let's start chanting now. 吽哈哈哈，为什么耶梭哈？吽哈哈哈，为什么耶梭哈？吽哈哈哈，为什么耶梭哈？吽哈哈哈，为什么耶梭哈？吽哈哈哈，为什么耶梭哈？吽哈哈哈，为什么耶梭哈？吽哈哈哈，为什么耶梭哈？吽哈哈哈，为什么耶梭哈？ 什么耶梭哈？哈哈哈，为什么耶梭哈？哈哈哈，为什么耶梭哈？为什么耶梭哈？为什么耶梭哈？为什么耶梭哈？为什么耶梭 什么耶娑哈？哦，哈哈哈，为什么耶娑哈？啊，哈哈哈，为什么耶娑哈？哦，哈哈哈，为什么耶娑？ 什么耶梭哈？哈哈哈！为什么耶梭哈？哈哈哈！为什么耶梭哈？哈哈哈！为什么耶梭哈？哈哈哈！为什么耶梭哈？哈哈哈！为什么耶梭哈？哈哈哈！为什么耶梭为什么耶梭哈？ May the merit of this chanting be dedicated to the Dharma realm. May all beings be free from suffering and attain happiness. May all disasters be averted and difficulties overcome. May all illnesses be healed. May all pain disappear. May all evil spirits disappear. May all disasters and misfortunes disappear. May all misfortunes disappear. Wishing everyone health and longevity. May disasters be eliminated. May you receive the protection of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Blessed by celestial beings and spirits. Forever happy and at ease. Because in this life, there are too many worries. Our karmic burdens are too heavy. Therefore, we should do more good deeds, so that the deceased can escape the three evil paths and go to a better place. For those of us still living, we can live healthier, happier, and more fulfilling lives, able to follow our own wishes. The hope is that everyone can achieve this. The blessings and benefits of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. All right, may everyone be blessed and prosperous.
Got it.
May you have health and longevity.
Got it.
May you be happy and joyful.
Got it.
See you at the same time tomorrow.
Thank you, Grandmaster.
Now it's time for our closing exercise. Rub your palm until they're warm. Glide your palms over your face from chin to forehead to cheek without actually touching them. Rub your palms until they're warm. Part your fingers and firmly comb your hair from forehead to the back of the neck. Rub your palms. Pat your entire body from top to bottom. Pat your head firmly with relaxed wrists. Do it calmly. Pat your left shoulder. Then pat your right shoulder. Continue to pat your chest. Then pat your left armpit down to the side of your rib cage. Switch to the right. Pat your right armpit down to the side of your rib cage. Next, pat your abdomen with relaxed hands. Please stand up slowly. Pat down from the front of your thighs, knees, shins, ankles, and tops of your feet. Gently pat the lower back, down to the buttocks, down to the back of your thighs, calves, ankles, and heels. Continue to pat the inside and outside of your legs. Start with your left leg. Relax your wrists and pat with slight force. Then pat your right leg. Continue to pat your arms. Start with your left arm. Then pat your right arm. After patting your entire body, rub your palms. Gently massage your whole body without actually touching it. Visualize that you are gently sweeping away the dust and worries. You are becoming healthy and happy. At the same time, think, I'm closing this meditation practice.
Today's class has successfully completed. See you tomorrow.
Lunar July 15th is the Ullambana festival, a significant day in Buddhism. It's also called Buddha's Joyful Day. It is a day to honor our ancestors and help liberate departed souls. During the 2024 Ullambana festival, offer the Earth Store Bodhisattva light offering for deceased loved ones, ancestors, parents of past lives, karmic creditors, unborn babies, and all sentient beings. Offer a light before the Buddha to help eliminate their sins and free them from the suffering of the evil realms, so that they can find auspicious peace. This light offering is available on the Bodhi Meditation College website. The lights will be lit from the order date throughout the lunar month of July. May all sentient beings receive the blessings of Earth Store Bodhisattva, eliminate all disasters, and attain auspicious liberation.
就此欢喜。我快乐了，我健康了，我幸福了，我美丽了。在茫茫人海之中，让我与你相遇。小小的红点滴，人生变得神奇。我智慧了，